it's extremely difficult to get multiple bids from multiple insurance agents because you have to have an agent of record. And that agent of record is basically like a power of attorney in the insurance world. And that agent is the one who's allowed to go to market, who is able to get quotes on your behalf. And if any other agent tries to do so, they will be blocked. And that market will say, well, you need to provide us with an updated agent of record saying you're their specific chosen agent. And that's where that term blocked markets comes from, is because there's really only one agent allowed to go out into the marketplace. Now, there could be cases where I might have a market that Kip doesn't have, or Kip might have a market that I don't have. In that case, we won't be blocking each other. But generally, we all kind of go to the same watering holes. And so that can be an issue. So I always like to clarify that you, as a consumer, the association doesn't have to get bids from multiple agents. Your agent should be the one going out and getting bids on your behalf.
When you're dealing with community association coverages, there are specialty policies for community associations, and that's what these guys are talking about. There are policies that have special coverages involving directors and officers, general liability, and they're directed around the community association world, where they add in these extra coverages that you guys need that maybe other people wouldn't need. Another thing too is on the property side. In Florida, there aren't that many options. And when it comes to insuring condominiums, there's such limited markets that's what they're trying to tell you guys from an insurance standpoint. You don't need 3 agents out there searching for you. If you have somebody that works in the community association world, that's what they focus on, they're going to know exactly where to go the day you call them, right away. They'll be able to tell you over the phone sometimes whether or not you may or may not fit in that market. Just by talking to somebody, you can tell whether or not they fit the guidelines. And they might pull up where you're located, how far away you are from the water, how old your building is, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think Kip and I, we have to somewhat self-underwrite before we send it out to our markets, because we should be able to know, based on the age, construction, location, rental types, which markets are going to look at it, which markets aren't going to look at it for every line of coverage. And if you're a specialist agent like Kip and I are, then we know what markets to go to ahead of time and we have access to them. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to piggyback on it all, you know, there's a scenario where, as a board, if you want to look at interviewing multiple agents, that's one thing. Obtaining multiple quotes is probably going to be difficult, but what I would say is, if you're looking at making a change, or you're uncertain of the relationship that you have in place with association attorneys and association insurance, there are probably some other professional areas as well. It's going to be based on the relationship and a trust factor. It's hard for me to come into a meeting and introduce myself and say, take price out of the equation, because the price isn't going to be affected by which agent you work with necessarily, or what carrier it is. The price that you're going to pay is really probably the price that you're going to pay, regardless if it's Michelle or I writing the policy. It's the relationship that you have in place, the comfortability, the confidence that you have in that individual. Making the decision to move forward with who you're going to work with from at least insurance standpoint is kind of where you've got to go with the agent of record, because once you make that decision to sign that paper, you're firing the person that was the prior agent, and you're hiring the new person. So be careful what you're signing. There are a lot of new agents that come in and say, well, in order for me to get you a quote, I need you to sign this. And now you've signed away the representation of your account to somebody that you may not even have wanted to work with. You just wanted to get an idea of what they were going to be able to provide. So I think that's important as well, is knowing what you're signing, trusting who you're signing with.